Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lemira's performance? The reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch, and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Oh, God, it's Daddy! Mr. Wright, you believed in me? Also, when did you get here? Not really. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do we even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Sorry about that, Susie. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? How tall is Phoenix Wright? Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one more thing before I go. What? What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Makijo Bay off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darien Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our Diva Divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch. A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flame guitar, too. Yeah, but, I think my explanation is more reasonable. Because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. So, am I gonna have to do phony evidence? Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where he found that little device thingy. Right, this. Oh, finally, so evidence that makes sense. Burnt fragments. Oh, okay, they were like a fucking... That's how they did... That's how we got the, gunshot sound. That's what, Lemira heard. That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked up the door just like a magician. Normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Shusi. Yeah. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where's Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. He, Darien, was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs, Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Hair forehead. Bump. Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darien Crescent. Name and occupation, please. Darren Cassant, Detective Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gavinus. Maybe you've heard of us.
Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today?
Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner.
Heh, so much for old friends.
That's not I'm trying to do like a Liverpool accent, but I'm failing tremendously. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial?
Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lemira's testimony, if in fact you have anything to say about it.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Well, that must be a natural pastime in Bucginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Conventional methods are out of the window, huh? Here goes nothing. I'm gonna have to use my magic lie detecting powers. A diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up a story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Did Detective Ember Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
So you claim Lemira's testimony was a lie?
Alright, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because he's blind. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is, you got a reliable witness. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm just saying what we're all thinking, man. I'll say what everyone else is too afraid to say. Why not listen to the detective, right?
Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. If I can't do this with Lemira's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up a story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it. Oh yeah, there was a mistake, but blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse.
What do you mean?
The mixing board proves what? It proves there was a mistake in the song. A missed cue. So, she just flubbed it up big time, that's all. She spins this story about a gunshot to protect the kid and cover for her own goof. Man, I'd have to hand it to her if she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time. Darian, watch what you say. Lemira is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber. Is this really what we should be talking about right now? She's got you all right. I can see it in your eyes. I'll tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious, it's way over my head. I'm detecting a rift in the governor's ranks. That's it, the band's breaking up. Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. Can't be trusted. If you ask me, I'll go with Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick. Didn't Detective Ember Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? Shooting took place when I was on stage, man. Okay. Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots? Yes. We heard gunshots. Neither of them actually saw the shooting, mind you. I guess you and Lemira got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. Mackie heard them too. Remember he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them? So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots from the third set were? I would like to draw attention to this. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial.
What things?
The first was this small device. That's the remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing.
What are those? The remains of something bent? Not into the guitar, I hope.
Traces of gunpowder found on these fragments. Ah, shit, he already knows. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? What, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. And just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? Well, you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by? Anything's possible with the remote control trigger. That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? You may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. I mean, you don't look like a detective. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Herr Forehead. I have a question for you. For me. The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You face the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half. Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down at the second act, while a little piano player was on stage. Is that right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless.
Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set?
Let me say first. Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along to do it for you. Yeah, me.
Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness, your testimony, if you would.
This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. The shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. Okay. Might as well examine this. So, you think this was some kind of firecracker? Yeah, one of those noisemakers like you shoot off on New Year's. Did you know that in China they use firecrackers on New Year's to scare off evil? So, it's kind of the same thing. Really? I had no idea. Well, you did. Do you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. At least my useless fact had something to do with the evidence. What is that? Do you have a fact of the day calendar? I could use a fact of the day calendar. I love sharing dumb and useless information. You never talked to her, even though you were playing in the same concert? Nor would, as far as I can recall. But weren't there planning sessions or something? Gavin took care of all that himself. Darren wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. As if we can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that. It's not that outrageous of an idea. Like, come on. Like, we got... like, photographic memory is a thing. Surely that same could be for sound. I mean, like, come on, you can like know what a song is.
Objection!
Oh, it was the mixing board. It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lemira's song. Her song?
What exactly is this, device thing? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps?
Come on, we just used this. Don't get me started on gramophone. Judge, you got... Oh my god. This device was used to record the performance, part by part.
Part?
You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lemira's voice included.
Oh, but what does this prove?
According to Lemira's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ha, ridiculous. I didn't hear gunshots. I was supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage. Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Lemira's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same.
Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now.
Lemira stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Oh shit, another check is coming up. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. Well, mute everything. Isolate Lemira's audio. Oh! Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lemira's vocals. Who's the drummer? Like...
I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot.
What?
This has to be some kind of mistake.
I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lemira's testimony was true.
Gah! Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard.
It was the other man speaking. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescend, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? What, 2 bullets fired from this weapon?
Lemira was moving through the air vent you're on. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latussa's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescend? Once again, I am reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Herr Forehead. What is it with you today?
Problem after problem. Achtung!
My hog! His hog! This part is off. Second guitar. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well,
You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latusse's .45 caliber hand cannon. As you have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder, even if you're an amateur. Yeah, it's like a Desert Eagle. Wait, you mean his plane was affected because it hurt himself firing that revolver? You're forgetting something.
Yes, Inspector Cassette.
Well, I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon, a much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim. I mean, that's very, I mean, I'm not know much about law, but that is very, what's the word? Circumstantial evidence. You're assuming that, like, this is the only reason he could have been playing off, like, could have been, or assuming, like, this is the only reason he could have broken his wrist.
Is that what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes. Like, I'm not a lawyer. That should be this game's tagline.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Cassette.
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. But me? What? Hey, you, attorney. Me? Just. Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything, and you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. Oh no, he's pointing out the absurdity of this series. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager, and that's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Cassend. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Alright. Come on, why would you even want to kill that manager? You want to raise it? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know a manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? I mean, he was an Interpol agent.
A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes, not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great, now we need to find a motive. Haven't we lost the plot? Aren't I just supposed to prove that my client didn't do it? Ugh. I got no motive. It was that diva's first trip to this country. Possibly nowhere manager. But, so you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert? Fraternize? Huh, I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Eastern block. Is the Cold War still happening? Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you say, if I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? Come on, there's gotta be evidence that they knew each other. Wait. No. The fucking... But that might be... Oh, wait. The bearer is hereby ordered to speak to no one outside the investigation concerning any details of the case. Shoot. Rebus. He's using this motive question as ammunition. Well, I've got ammunition too. A gun! Am I supposed to... No, that can't be it. Why would I want to kill that manager? There are just so many possible... There's too many variables. How could I possibly know her manager? Because of this. No. Like, I want to say that it's that you use that's the cocoon replica. That's the evidence you do for motive, but the thing about that is, I feel like that's supposed to be my coup de grace, my final nail in the coffin. I don't think I should play it right away. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Your Honor, take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like candy.
Don't eat. It's not. Don't lick it, please.
Hey, what is it? Judge, Your Honor, yeah, spit that out right now.
Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. It's not candy! What it is evidence. Don't look it before you try. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings.
A cocoon? No. Sorry, never seen one of that color.
It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else.
Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latus, does it?
It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, Mon.
A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of?
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
A curative? For what?
Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. Yes, it's the cure. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia. That sounds unethical, man. Nah, this is my panacea. It's no one else's. No one else gets to have it. Fucking capitalism.
Whatever for. If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. Poison? A deadly poison, in fact.
Oh! What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite a commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware.
Intriguing.
All this had led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol?
Right. The victim, Romain Latus, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latus wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That's what you're trying to say? Well, no, it's a replica. I'm saying we could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was gonna sell on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. Totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business.
Alright, character testimony. Your Honor, I am just a little guy. I'm a silly little guy. Do you think a silly little guy would smuggle cocoons? For shame. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal. Ah, right. You've had none that much to gain. Well, maybe we
Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Lactuse undercover.
Kids think up the craziest things. There's no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
Duty. Doo-doo. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. Got a memo about these cocoons. On black market, too dangerous. Dangerous. Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times has changed. Times have changed. So it used to be lucrative. Wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? What are you, a capitalist? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too.
Who's on trial here again?
Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. Shoot. These fucking... I'm in international affairs.
Which is why you'd know how to find a loophole in the system.
Aye, you can say what you want about me, but back off international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts?
Yeah, kinda.
It wasn't what I was trying to, down there, and it's as you say, there are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Burgundian customs are all watching. See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that Davis says.
Why, I oughta...
Oughta what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah?
Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick.
I want his dick in a ball. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's got to be a way to find out what he was up to. Memo. That memo. That's how you knew about the cocoons. Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now. You had to know about the cocoons to plan this.
Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'd never heard of them.
Well, Lemira knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all.
Then I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all.
You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter. Yeah. Hot and bothered. Exactly lucrative. For much a remedy for all. The cure. Let's so. Oh ha 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 ha! We got them. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. Don't quote me on that. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this?
That article. That's about the Chief Justice.
A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis.
Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere.
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning.
Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has.
You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice.
You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband.
Not even to save his own son's life.
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal.
That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice.
Detective said, is this true?
First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? I hear he also, thinks he's a I'm not good at improv.
Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller.
I don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginia Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about Cocoon's getting out.
So we are informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
No, I don't want to fuck. I already pressed him on this one. Penis. Hot and bothered. And just how strict is this customs check? Why strict? They keep planes on the ground for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows.
Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them.
That's right. Gavin was in Virginia, wasn't he? I remember setting off the metal detectors several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through. Ooh la la! Here's a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave the brain at home, you glamorous fop. Cocoon possession. Death! That's pretty extreme. Bulgaria has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security. Of course, the communist dictatorship. The Republic of Virginia is a peaceful, pleasant country, so this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons. That's the situation. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of here, I'd sure like to know. You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure. But all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying. But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich.
I would be interested in hearing, purely from a legal perspective, of course.
I weep for our judicial system. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's got to be a way to find out what he was up to. International affairs, hot and bothered, very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. But did he get checked? Oh, that's stupid. The suggestion will get you arrested on the spot. Fuck! Cocoons. Cocoons. I wasn't saying the other word. Our bearer is to speak to no one. The bearer. Nah, I was thinking that like the fact that that they were required to keep the investigation a secret might have been able to help them hide from security. It's not the guitar, is it? It's the guitar. It's hidden in the guitar. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country, no check. Oh, because the guitar was transport. Oh my god!
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor?
That's clever. That's the noise he made.
I don't believe it.
Believe it! That's about. When was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. The fucking truth bullet, man. Lemira Studio. A special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to the office. Mamma mia, cunt. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched. Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Wick? A good memory here, Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front. It's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood. A broken device. Ah, the thing designed to Ooh.
An igniter.
Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. Ah! There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access, like a member of the band? York!
Order, order, order! So the igniter
was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution.
A precaution?
Ah, Herr Forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lemira's ballad, if you please. Keys stolen, harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar.
I see.
But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. And the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler.
What's that?
Mr. Latouche.
Ah.
Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon was confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was get rid of the whole lot.
It's over. Press the switch now.
But why would Darian say that? Was he talking to... something about encoding settings? Got an alert in my recording? I don't know. Guess that means it won't be picking up this stuff. All my videos do end up being low quality. I think it's because I don't have enough RAM. With Lemira there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent. I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly. For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian.
The Republic of Virginia. Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
Sorry. True, you haven't.
Huh, let's see you make up a story for that, kid.
What is it that, like, you're trying to talk? You're trying to, sorry, yawn time. Yawn mode. You're gonna go yawning. How to hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. Or Virginian accomplice. That's all. Oh my god, that you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lemira heard proves it. Press the switch. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage.
Well, who was it?
This is it, the coup de grace. And for once I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
No. There is only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Maki Tobey.
But, Mr. Justice, he's your client.
A defense attorney accusing his client? Oh, that's a new one. I assure you no one has more than happy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. LeJuice, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Burgundian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lemira?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lemira was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that Lemira could still have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Alright, the platform was, yep. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lemira stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lemira's position in the air vent.
Ah.
Well, Detective Cassand, what do you say to that? Your Honor?
Yes, Detective.
Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time.
Well, I don't see why not.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. I'd like to see him try.
Ha 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 ha! Too bad, so sad, punk!
Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk!
You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly are we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get out your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the Wii pianist to set up that igniter? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, you'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? Da da da. Shut it down. Shut it down now. Oh, what are you saying? You couldn't have pressed the switch. It was too busy doing the piano. Come on, man. You think you can't do it with one hand?
Well, what seems to be the problem there? Piano sounded just fine.
And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it. Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's blind? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with a hands-free was the Diva. Amira. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Urkel, your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Well, you failed to consider, Is this the part where I have to visualize the crime scene in 3D and then pick out where the fucking killer was sitting? The piano plays non-stop. Or does it? He couldn't have pressured that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing while the guitar catches fire.
Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... strange? What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Well, Mr. Justice, if Mackie DeBay didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Wait. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar's on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant, Mackie DeBay, the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Mackie's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. You had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. Like in Samoan, my veins, my culture banging was strange. I changed the game, so what's my motherfucking name? Rock! She in love with who I am. Man, it's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd?
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Mackie DeBay pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Mackie DeBay pressed that switch?
I can't. Let me say first. But yes, I can. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Yeah, forehead, you're sure about this? Oh, accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice.
On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch?
Did he use his feet or something? Well, let's look at the... Okay. The parts with the piano boy. He said that it was to do with the fucking... He said that something about the footage was strange. Why can't I just pause it there? Like, Eyeball. Let's just look at the... Let's listen to this again. I was right all along. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
As if he was playing with one hand! I think I know what you say. You think Mikey could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
What, so you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no. Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with only one hand. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy! Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry, so sad for you. Okay, well, no, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. What? Matt, how are you gonna prove whether he played it with 1 hand or 2? You can't. I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with 1 hand. How do you know that? The clue was what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. Odd, like an odd number of hands. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No, why?
Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with 1 hand, right before the guitar burst into flame.
Mackie was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. Oh, shoot. Well, obviously, it's gotta be the... This one? Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Half-Forehead. But realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the Butterfleetin' melody phrase. Sorry. I don't hear shit, dude. Man. How many times do we have to listen to the same thing? Dude, that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe I'm just tone deaf. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar burst into flame at the end of the 2nd verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the 1st verse. Pay attention to "Oh, That Night in Your Embrace." I am so confused.
Play verse 2 again. They feel the same too, but they're clearly very different.
I didn't notice anything. What? That's my reaction. What? The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. What? You'd have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. Urkel. What's that prove, oh? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 voices are different arrangements happen all the time. Not this time, Darian. Oh, there's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so the piano would stay in the background. Oh, that was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Mackie changed how he played. And there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. Oh, no! He gonna break down. He gonna break down.
Order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I would now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, slaves. No, great show. Oh, Lord, it's not over. I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Half-Forehead. Fuck me! Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Fuck! Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him. Can we though?
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But
1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it.
I believe it. It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Wait. Oh, I think if we did, we already would have seen it a long ways back.
It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? Wait! The truth is staring us all right in the face. You found the igniter in the piano. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Looks at camera. Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside. Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. Igniter. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now, or what? It might look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Oh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry as why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plant has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, it'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo. What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Half-Forehead, you are accusing this man, Derek Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the saucy smuggling of a Morginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. Save it! Luffy, good to see you, buddy. Save it! Luffy!
This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darien Crescent.
Okay. This is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darien Crescent's plan is... you call a witness. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It's true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darien Crescent's guilt?
It's Mackie. The one person who can prove Darien Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Mackie Tobey.
Your client? Again?
Mackie Tobey was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darien Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It will require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Aha! Very scientific of you.
Thus, if Maki Jubei acknowledges his agreement with Darren Crescend concerning the attempted smuggling of a beginning cocoon, the case is solved. Heh. Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. And by Burgundian law. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescend. What? It's the other way around. If Maki doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Oh? Look, if Maki admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ugh. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Burgundian cocoon. Oh yeah, but... But if Maki doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Burgundian police, and it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not gonna find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Maki Jubei. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Maki Jubei knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him. Suicide? No. And that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Oh, shit. Heh. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country.
Set you up someplace.
It'll march real nice. What? Is he hiding in his hair? Please! Don't talk! Oh, his hair's gone crazy mode. You look so sad and wet. Point and laugh at him. Darian, I consider that my last session with you, we rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Please, client, please, defendant, I'll give you anything. I'll do anything. Anything? Yes, anything. Then perish.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk. You'll tell this court everything.
I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew, from beginning I knew. Mac, situation. I cannot explain, but money, I need it. Very much money.
Today's trial is a delicate issue in our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
Should another case of this sort surface, you may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Maki Jubei,
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Miss Runtus, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Oh God, blue! Oh God, blue eyes!
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Maki Jubei,
not guilty! Woohoo! My client.
Court is adjourned.
I wonder what'll happen to Maki. Well, they just smuggled Cocoon out of Virginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Oh, hi, Phoenix.
Daddy!
I owe you both my thanks. Lemira? Is something wrong? I'm sorry, Maki was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Oh my god! Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him, something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. I don't believe in punitive justice. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. Sorry. According to the doctor, Lemira lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing her defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Painting? That's right. She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I mean, blind people can paint, too. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lemira! I owe you my thanks, too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I needed to hurry things along. What? On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. I'm going to shoot Shinzo Abe. He's already dead, I can make that joke. Apollo, Trucy. I hope we will meet again someday soon. You bet! Me too! And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on, until it came to an end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. Yeah, I'm guessing he's gonna be a solo act now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. I don't get it. You know, ooh, nice. You know, just for shits and giggles, let's see the preview for the next episode. Just to, like, for old time's sake. And that is the whole truth of this case. No, wait,